Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And we are here and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, for episode 26, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 26 is in the building of the Darion Hopkins Show. And I'm your host, Darion, of the Darion Hopkins Show. And I'm happy to be back Monday morning. Today is May 22nd, 2023. And I am proud to be doing this episodes, 25 episodes in, now absolutely 26 episodes in for the Darion Hopkins Show. It's been a monumental year for this podcast and everything of that nature. And I'm probably happy to do these shows, man. I'm probably happy to do them. And I always start out the show early by myself, but it's absolutely fine. My co-host is going to come in here a little bit later, and hopefully we get to see them real soon and have a vision. Bring in that Lakers fan. Well, I gotta see. He's a brand new father, so I don't know if he's able to come in at the price. I'm not too sure. But out of all the teams that I have, my Miami Heat did the damn thing last night. We're going to talk about that. We're going to break down both games from the Lakers and Nuggets game threes and talk about it. And really want to talk about it. So shout out to everybody that's in here. Shout out to everybody that has subscribed to the YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody that has followed me on social media. Shout out to everybody that has been supporting this channel. This channel has really been blowing up with the consistency that I've been doing with the Darion Hopkins Show and with the live play-by-plays and reactions. But I just want to say this, though. Make sure that you tell a friend about the podcast, which is audio or video. Let the people know about the podcast. So the Darion Hopkins Show, episode 26, is definitely here, ladies and gentlemen. And we got a lot to talk about. And before we get into any of the topics here, the topics, but I have to say this. Thank you. We're close to almost 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. And if you have not listened to any of the audio podcasts, if you have not listened to any audio podcast or all the podcasts at all, make sure you listen to the audio podcast on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating. We love to hear from what the audience have to say about our podcast so we know what to do better in our podcast. So if you go to the link in the description, the Spotify, the Apple Podcast, I think I'm going to go to iHeartRadio and to Amazon Music as well. So it's going to be fun. So make sure y'all all listen to the all audio podcast platforms is the Darion Hopkins Show. That's all you have to put in to search it. Or you can go to the links in the description. You leave us a follow, leave us a rating, and let us know how you actually feel about the Darion Hopkins Show, And for everybody to know, we are sponsored by SeatGeek. Yes, we are. We are sponsored by SeatGeek. And SeatGeek is a promotion or a website where you could go to and get live concerts, live events, sporting events all year round for the Darion Hopkins Show. And we have a special offer for you today. Well, in general, you really don't have to have just for today, but the special offer is if you use our promo code DHopkins. If you use the promo code DHopkins, you will get $20 off your first purchase if you use the promo code. So the NFL season is coming along. NBA season, if you want to go to an NBA finals game or you want to go to an NHL finals game, an MLB game, any type of sporting event or any type of live event, music, jazz, whatever, comedy, go to SeatGeek and use that promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. And we are sponsored by Bet Us as well. Bet Us is a sports betting company that partnered with the Darion Hopkins Show. And using the Darion Hopkins Show as a partnership, you will receive 125% of your sports book upon the initial deposit. So the link is definitely in the description. It's one of the first links that's in the description for Bet Us. So make sure you go to Bet Us and go to the link that's in the description and get that special offer from me and from Bet Us. It's definitely going to be fun. But let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it because both teams are on the verge of being swept. in the Eastern and the Western Conference Finals. Now, I did not expect this to go this way. I said both series would go to game sevens. And I absolutely don't believe that. But I don't absolutely think that the Lakers is going to go out and get swept. I don't think that. But I do think the Boston Celtics, after what I saw last night, they are done. Stick a fork in Boston. No fight, no grit. I was very, very, even though I was happy that my Miami Heat won. Shout out to the Heat culture. Shout out to the Heat culture. Yes, I said it. Shout out to the Heat culture. But at the same time, Boston did not show that they wanted to be back in the NBA Finals last night. They did not want to show it. I don't have faith in the Boston Celtics anymore after last night. I have no faith in them. Because the difference between the Lakers and Boston, even though that Lakers run out of gas in that fourth quarter against Denver, the last 3 games was close. If you look at the finishing scores, even the first 2 games for Miami and Boston was close. But in a pivotal game, game 3, you really needed that. Boston, you really needed it. Even though the Lakers needed it just as bad, but the Lakers put up a fight. At least they competed into the fourth quarter. They just ran out of gas. Boston lost this game at the end of the first quarter, and Miami never looked back. Never looked back. At least the Lakers, even though they was down, they tried to come back. But Boston didn't even try. They didn't try. And surprising to see both conference finals is at 3-0. I could take a Lakers being swept and being competitive being swept than being a Boston team being swept and not giving no effort. No effort. Mazzulla benched all his players in the beginning of the fourth quarter. And that third unit, that's not even a second unit for Boston. That third unit played better than the first and second units. The guys that don't even play was making shots than Boston was. I think the problem with the Los Angeles Lakers, they trying to find the matchup, and Denver is exploiting it. So every time Darvin Ham try to make an adjustment, Mike Malone counter adjusts every time. So now they're kind of like trying to play this chess match, which I've been saying multiple times that it will be a chess match. I've been saying it, that it will be a chess match between these two teams, even though it might say Denver 3-0, but the Lakers have even showed effort more than Boston did. I'm sorry to say, it's the truth. It's the absolute truth for the Los Angeles Lakers. Even though they're down 3-0. I don't see them coming back either. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers win tonight. I would not be surprised. I don't think the Lakers are going to go out like that. They're going to try to at least get one game on their floor. Possibly. Do I want Denver to win the series? Absolutely. I want Denver to win the series. And I'm not even a Denver Nuggets fan. Honestly, I'm surprised that they're even entertaining. I'm surprised. But I gave them a lot of slack. I gave them a lot of lack during the year and during these playoffs. So I did not want them to beat the Phoenix Suns, but the Phoenix Suns fell apart. So in my instance, I just feel like the Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals, Miami's dog walking Boston. They just are. And Denver is just outplaying the Lakers and playing all 4 quarters instead of playing 3 quarters like the Lakers is doing. That's the absolute thing. But I don't see the Lakers winning the series, and I don't see the Boston Celtics winning the series. So the battle for the 18th championship, I think it ends on Tuesday. I think Boston is going to get swept. I don't know. You need You need a 24-hour day, which is today because they off today, to get your shit right. Because Boston is coming to pull the trigger on Boston. Just my opinion. They're coming to pull the trigger. They suck the life out of Boston. And the Lakers got to have gas in the fourth quarter. That's it. They got to have gas in the fourth quarter. They put all their energy into the first 3 quarters and did what? Just to be out of gas in the fourth quarter? Knowing that Jokic, mind you, the roles reversed. The roles reversed, but we're going to get more into that, man. And you know what? Let's get into it right now, honestly. Let's get into it right now. And on Saturday, the Denver Nuggets defeated the Los Angeles Lakers 119-108. And I got to say this. I got to say this for anybody that's talking. Tonight, the Lakers got to win. It is a must win for the Lakers if they want to try to make this a series. Because I feel like they're not going to get one on the road. I don't see the Lakers winning back in Denver. I think Denver ends it in 5 if the Lakers win tonight. That's just me. But the Denver Nuggets, they won on Saturday, and they up 3-0 on the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, if you look at this box score, is what we're looking at right now. You know, you still have 5 players in double figures for Denver on the road. 5 players. And you have Michael Porter Jr. with 14. Nikola Jokic with 24. But he didn't have a triple-double, but he did have 24, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Jamal Murray was sensational. Jamal Murray was great. Played 42 minutes, 15 of 29 from the field, 5 of 11 from the three-point line, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 37 points. The last 2 games, he has woken up from the dead. He didn't play that well in the second half, but Jokic put the dagger in the Lakers in the fourth quarter. Definitely did. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope finally stepped up too because he had a bad game too. He had 17 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from the three-point line, which he knows that building very well because he was a part of that championship team with the Lakers in many years that he was there. You had Jeff Green come in, hit a few shots. You had Bruce Brown come off and get 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 15 boards off of 6 of 11 from the field. Boston just playing a better overall game with their supporting cast helping them. That's exactly what is happening. Knowing that the Denver Nuggets have shot 50% from the field and 41% from the three-point line on the road against the number 1 defense in the NBA. That's crazy to me. That means they're finding ways to exploit this number 1 ranked defense. They're finding a way. And what I mean by that, they are figuring out how to beat this team. They're figuring out how to out-strategize this team, and they're figuring out how to beat a team offensively. So I respect it. I respect the Denver Nuggets, man. I do. I didn't know Mike Malone was that great of a coach. I did not know because from past history, they couldn't get that far. They couldn't get that far. So that was just my only opinion on it. But Mac, what's going on, brother?
What's up?
Good afternoon, man.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Nothing, man. Just talk about the, recapping both game 3s here. But I'm starting with the Lakers first because they were the first ones to play. They played Saturday night. And like I said before, right before you came on, I said that, five different players was in double figures for the Denver Nuggets. They shot 50% from the field. They shot 41.5 from the three-point line against the number 1 defense in the NBA. So for me, like I said, I kind of underestimated this Denver Nuggets team because at some point during the regular season, they are boring to watch. They are boring to watch, but they know how to play the game of basketball. So I have to give them their kudos.
And you know what? And that's what I was trying to point out from the beginning. Like, the Nuggets play such good team ball that a lot of teams just like, oh, no, 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 no. Not against us, they won't. Not, and it just goes to show you, like, a really good team that can play team ball well, execute on offense, and play decent defense. They're not a rollover team.
Right.
And
Right.
that's why I said, like, I didn't see this as the Lakers were going to be able to come in and get easy wins. Like, and I think a lot of people did too. A lot of people are like, man, I don't know. I don't know. And sure as shit, like, the Lakers have not had an easy game. They're going to have to play their best game to beat the Nuggets.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What up, Ed?
What up?
Well, we were just talking about recapping Saturday night's game. You know, the Lakers, losing and stuff like that. But I was kind of surprised to see that Denver shot 50% from the field and 41 from the three against your number one defense in the league. So,
I mean, hey, you hit shots. When you hit heavily contested shots, all you can do is shake your guy's hand. There ain't really too many, like, early in the game, there's a lot of earlier, starting off because the Lakers start off slow. So there's a few breakdowns early in the game. But towards the second half and just mainly the fourth quarter, it was just, we just couldn't hit shots. Like, they went on the 10, 11-0 run, 11-0 spurt. And in that spurt, a lot of their shots were contested and a lot of ours were just missed. So,
if for me to see it, I just saw it as the first three quarters, the Lakers had so much energy.
Yeah. And they just ran out of gas late.
It fell off in the fourth. Y'all got tired.
It's the second game in a row that they fell off in the fourth quarter. Like, the first game, the Nuggets kind of had it wire to wire, even though they fought back a little bit and made it a 3-point game with a minute left. But these last two games were both just fourth quarter, just meltdowns. Just there's no other way to really describe it, honestly. Especially last game, game three. Game three was just a fourth quarter meltdown. We just couldn't hit shots when it really mattered most, honestly. And I'm never a proponent of using injury as an excuse. So it's like, you got your main guy turning his ankle 3-4 times. Like, who's to say how that impacted him? He just coming down just jacking threes at that point. It just got out of hand.
Is it time for D'Angelo Russell to get out this lineup?
D'Angelo,
I've been saying it for weeks now. I've been trying to convince you.
You haven't had to convince me. My whole point was that if you're going to have D'Angelo play, if you're not going to have D'Angelo play, then who you replace with? Obviously, you replace him with Dennis because Dennis is the most effective defensive guard we have on our team. He's the most effective defensive guard on our team. Vando can't really compete with him because he's too slow-footed for Murray on the perimeter, so he can't press him the whole way like he really wants to. Dennis is the only one that's been competing on defense at the guard position. He's the only one that's been competing. So it's like you have to start him. You have to start him. He just brings a different level of intensity on the ball. You feel me, to start the game. So you have to start him. But D'Angelo just missing shots that he normally can hit, and if he's not hitting his shots, then it's like his defense isn't up to snuff, and he's not really an elite. His passing hasn't manifested itself in what you would think, like the screening roles with AD. It's just they're packing the paint. They're doing a lot of things to protect their most vulnerable asset as far as on that, and D'Angelo is just left out there to try to figure it out. He's struggling. There's just no other way to describe it. He was 1 for 8 last game. I think the game before he was about 2 for 9 or something like that. He had a few points, but game 3 was really he just couldn't find a shot early, and you gotta sit him down. Like Ham has a lot of trust in him. He has a lot of faith in him, but at this point you have to sit him down. It's obviously do or die. So we'll see. He'll probably be on a short leash to start the game, and if he doesn't start out hot and he's become a vulnerable player on defense, then he probably won't see the court that much in the second half, depending on how the game goes. This is do or die. So it's like you can't hold your guns back. You can't hold your bullets back.
Is it time for Hachimura to get in the starting lineup?
The thing with Hachimura is that I like him coming off the bench because of the different styles we can play. I'm not. The thing with Vando is that he plays defense and he rebounds. It's just that he's not an offensive threat, and he seems lost on the offensive end as far as what to do, where to be, other than just standing in the corner. Like he doesn't
Like
scream
a
for
PJ Tucker, as you
yeah,
say.
but PJ, the thing with PJ is PJ intensity on defense is cool, and on offense he just doesn't just shoot it just to shoot it. And he's a good shooter at the end of the day. He's a good corner shooter. He has one of the highest 3-point shooting percentages in the corner. You know what I mean, in the league every year. So he can shoot, and PJ doesn't try to shoot things that he can't. And his defense is miles ahead of Vanderbilt's, even though Vanderbilt is a great defender. PJ is just it's the dog in him that makes him a better defender in my eyes. So it just makes him a better player overall.
So
Philly is just a whole nother.
Even though the Lakers lost, they still shot 45% from the field and 31 from the three, which is They gotta shoot better at home for me. If you especially
that's the thing.
They
we can't hit shots at home.
They gotta shoot better at home.
If we can't hit shots at home, you have no chance at winning a game. So it's like you have to when you're at home, you have to feed off the whole crowd. You have to maintain the level of stuff that you're doing all game. First 3 quarters, like I say, every game that we have played, we have lived in the paint. Once we start shooting jump shots and start settling for jump shots, LeBron, then it becomes an issue. We have lived in the paint. They can't stop us when we're attacking the rim. If outside of LeBron missing bunnies, I've been saying it all year. They have nobody to stop us at the paint. Once you get past your initial defender, it's a layup. Last game they went into more of a drop coverage with Jokic, and they just packed the paint to stop the LeBron post ups and stop the Rui Hachimura post ups. But it was still there and available. But we just started settling for threes. We started settling for threes, started settling for contested jump shots, and it's just like that's not going to work. That's not our game plan. It's not our game plan. That hasn't been our game plan all year. We're not a great 3-point shooting team. We haven't been all year. So I don't know why we're resting on the laurels of that. But predictions are predictions. You can't predict what the players are going to actually go out there and do. You make predictions based off of the data and based off the film that you've seen. But on any given night, a player can just completely lose his mind or completely lose all thought of what the fuck he's been doing and just get out there and just do anything. So, it is what it is. We're fighting. That's the main thing. We fought every game. We fought every game. I can say that about the Lakers. We have fought every game. Every game has been close, relatively close. This last game, obviously you can't say that about Boston because y'all just laying down, taking like there's no.
And I would love to hear Mac's thoughts about this Boston Celtics team because
they look like Stoney or
set it off. Boston Celtics team that beat the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, is it telling me that did Miami or is exposing the Boston Celtics at this moment? Are they exposing them?
Exposing their pride. They're exposing their pride for sure.
The whole thing is, like I said in the beginning of the series, I thought it was going to be a real back and forth series because of the team ball. The Celtics ain't played good team ball in any of these. You got Marcus Smart playing harder than Tatum.
He plays harder than anybody all the time. That's all the time.
I mean, but that's a problem. Like you should know these this is like the most important games you're going to play in your career. To not take these games seriously, to continue to treat it like you have another game. There's another game. Well, guess what, bud? There's no other game after this one. There's none. If you don't win this game, you go home. It's over. Everything you've done this year is for nothing.
I think excellent. Good.
And I mean, and it's not just the team, and it's not just the coaching. It's a combination of both. It's like, come on, as a coach, you should know you need to make adjustments. You need to put your guys in the best fucking position to win. And it's like this coach is just standing there. So you're being outcoached, and then your star players aren't even playing up to par. So then you're getting outplayed. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, like I'm on the opposite end. If you play like trash, then you're trash. And that's what they're playing like. They're playing just like some hot fucking trash. And so yeah, that's exactly what I expect. I'm more along the lines is Miami needs to come in here and finish this fucking sweep. I'm a Boston fan, but this is fucking disgraceful. Like, bro,
I just think that as far as just basketball goes, I think that Miami has just really leaned into the tape. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be well prepared. They've leaned into the tape. They know that They know that you all like to settle for threes. You're one of the highest 3-point. You had the highest 3-point shooting. You know what I mean? 3-point shooting percentage throughout the season. Y'all like y'all tend to rely on hero ball, ISO ball, and they're just basically cutting off the water on anything, any type of team action, any type of you know what I mean, plays or anything, and just making y'all rely on stuff that you feel me that y'all used to relying on, but they're keyed in on. Jimmy has just been a dog this whole series. Jaylen Brown, even though people have been screaming for him to get the ball more and to score more and try to be more aggressive and more.
Well, he'll come back and explain himself, but listen, but I knew my Heat culture. I wanted my Heat culture to win this series, but god damn.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
like,
they
I want to see. Like, the first 2 games was competitive. Yes, I understand the fourth quarter woes with Boston. I get it. But mind you, I didn't even watch the first half because I was rushing home. I couldn't even do the first half of the game. And when I came in, it was like, what, 46-61 at the half, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, all right, Boston probably going to try to turn up, try to get back in this game. And once I saw how the third quarter turned, I'm like, yeah, this game is officially over.
This series was over. This series was over in game 2. This series was over in game 2. They came out in game 3 looking like complete dog shit, looking like they were ready to go home, like it was a game 3 and it was time to go home. That's how they played. Their pride has been taken. They already took their pride after game 2. Game 3 was just a culmination of it all. Jimmy has just, as I said, is that the fact that your 2 shooters, you have Grant Williams and motherfucking Marcus Smart showing the most dog on your team. Nobody else is showing any dog. Nobody else is showing any type of fight. Where's the barking from Jason Tatum? All he's doing is crying to the damn ref the whole fucking game. Jaylen Brown can't stop traveling and taking goofy ass shots. He's been having a traveling issue all season. He's probably had the most travel.
Ever since he took that mask off, Jaylen Brown has not been the same since he took that mask off. I'm gonna be completely honest.
The thing with Jaylen Brown is Jaylen Brown can be he's a straight line driver. He gets tunnel vision when he starts to drive, and he's not really a great passer out of his initial action. His ball handling still hasn't got up to snuff yet, and he's just not he's not an offensive hub. Jason Tatum is the opposite. Jason Tatum can be that, but
I don't know what's going on with him. He keep getting knocked off. Probably getting a phone call. But Mac.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I feel bad. Listen, I'm happy that my Heat is winning, but I feel bad, bro. Like, I feel bad right now. Like,
I don't know why I keep cutting
it wasn't even fight. Like, I wanted to troll so bad, Mac. I wanted to troll so bad, but it wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny.
No, I mean, listen, like I said, the back and forth that they had in the last series was good. But this ain't no fucking good. They are showing that they're exactly who they are not.
This is what happens when you play against a team that has dogs versus a team that has a dog. Philly has a dog. Miami has a whole team of undrafted dogs. Everybody that's
and that's what I'm
chip
saying.
On your shoulder type situation. This is a pride situation. Like they're not. But Miami Heat, the Miami Heat players roster top end from top to bottom is not a collection of better players than the Boston Celtics. It's just not. But as far as how way that they play and the way that they compete on any given possession, they have multiple guys that aren't going to take any shit. You got Udonis Haslem in everybody's ear, so you already know. Miami ain't taking shit from nobody.
That's like another coach on the bench for Miami.
Miami ain't taking shit. He's the motivational coach. Every time out, he's in somebody's ear. He's in somebody's ear, somebody's face, just letting them know, like, bro, we're not going down like this. We're not going out like this. These guys are chumps. Marcus Smart is the only one that's really out here willing to be a dog, and everybody else is just standing around. Mazzulla, the thing with Mazzulla is that he's a young coach. He's a young assistant coach, and he's been thrusted into this position, and he's had to try to figure it out all year. But he's not. I wouldn't say that he's a bad coach. He's a young coach. This is his first season actually being a head coach, being a leader of men, and you give him a ready-made team, and expectations are through the roof based off of last season. But last season doesn't do anything for you this year. Their rotations, the same with the Lakers, have been ass. Both coaches have been slow to make the proper rotations as far as substitutions, and it's killed both teams. Outside of the fact that nobody's actually competing for Boston, who is the one that's trying to actually go out there and stop Jimmy? They made it their priority to stop Jimmy between Jalen and JT. Everybody else can step up, but which one of those two is going to step up to make it? No, this is my business. Even if I don't score a point, he won't score a point, or we will make it less easier for him. Stop dying on switches. They're dying on switches. They're dying on screens. They're accepting the fact that, okay, it's my turn to get off of Jimmy instead of my turn to guard Jimmy. Pause. But it's like, bro, if you're not going to compete and the coach up there, he's taking all the bullets for the team. You got Jaylen Brown in the damn press conference, don't know what to say. Like, bro, you sucked. That's what you should say, bro. You sucked and you haven't showed up.
And I have to take something from what, Stan Van Gundy and Reggie Miller had to say, because I understand why Mazzulla didn't put his starters in the fourth quarter. I understand that. But you need to build something. Build some confidence going into a game 4. And I just feel like I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can find some way to like build confidence in shooting the ball, or build confidence in trying to drive to the basket, get or play some type of defense, because the way Gabe Vincent was shooting the ball yesterday, it didn't make no sense. Anthony Price saying that I don't feel bad. I do, because I don't like a team to just quit. And I feel like they quit because I didn't watch the first half. I had to go through the highlights and see, okay, this was a close game in the first quarter. That end of the first quarter when Miami took their run, Miami didn't look back after that. They didn't. And
the thing is, coaches don't quit, though. Coaches don't quit. The players quit. Coaches don't quit. Coaches are on the sideline coaching their ass off, trying to figure something out, trying to figure out a recipe based upon the shit that they have to cook with. The players are the ones that are quitting. They're the ones that they're not giving solid effort. They come down 5, 6, 7 straight possessions and just jack threes off of one pass. That's not coaching. That's the players. The players are out there disregarding the plays. The players are out there not rotating the ball. Everybody has a standard motion offense, and everybody's just standing around. They come down, my turn to jack a three. You got Mark Smart jacking contested threes for nothing with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. You got Jason Tatum doing the same thing with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Joe Mazzulla can only do but so much. He can't actually go out there and move the pieces around and make them do the things they have done all season to be a top 4 team all year. How many games did they win? They won the third most games all season. So It's worked. It's worked. But the thing is, when you run up against other dogs and you don't have dogs on your team, it's going to look bad. It's going to look bad because at the end of the day, all the stats and the numbers go out the window when you're playing against a physical team, a team that's really trying to get downhill, get great shots every time, and they're going to feast off of your mistakes. You know that they're going to be well prepared. And against Philly, it was the complete opposite. You're playing against a Doc Rivers who's basically fighting for his job. James Harden doesn't want to be there, and you got one dog on the team in PJ.
And then that same guy, James Harden, don't want to be there. They talking about they trying to give him $200 million, which he ain't worth a damn dime of that. But this is why James Harden is in the situation that he's in. He won't win a championship. But I'm not going to say too long about a James Harden situation because I made sure I did not put it in the topics today. I was like, this is
James. The thing with James will get paid. James will get paid based off his production. And what does his production say? He's a 20-10 player when he's slightly engaged.
In the regular season, and this is why he will never win a championship, because if you get that $200 million, you'll get that $200 million that you can't build. You can't build around it because all that money is going to him.
Yeah, I mean, the way they can structure the contract, it depends. But it's just at the end of the day, he's at a point in his career that he's at a crossroads whether or not he wants to be a winner or he just wants to make money. There's no problem with either or. Everybody can't win. So I don't hold that standard to everybody because the Lakers and Mac can attest to this. That 2 teams that have won a lot, everybody doesn't. All teams don't win. All great players don't win. There's plenty. There's a list of great players who've competed hard, but they didn't win shit. So I mean, you better get your money while you can. That's my best thought with the NBA.
So Mac, my question to you is this: what needs to happen for this Boston Celtics team? Do they need to get rid of Mazzulla, or what they try to do is try to build this team, or try to do something to get them over this hump? Because they've been to the finals last year. I understand Mazzulla was assistant coach there last year. Now he's a head coach. What needs to happen for Boston to have some type of pride or some type of sense of urgency, or what needs to happen with this team?
I mean, they need a leader. They need a leader. Honestly, that's really what they need. And then Mazzulla having another year of coaching will be big because he's going to be able to look back at all the mistakes he's made in these playoffs, from the not calling timeouts to the not making adjustments. And it is like he needs.
What adjustments need to be made if you was the coach of the Boston Celtics? If you was the head coach right now, what adjustments need to be made?
As far like, dude, so many. First off, the center, get Horford the fuck out of there. Just get Horford out of there. Like I'm sorry, you have Williams, you got Grant, you got other people there that can step into that role and much younger. So get rid of Horford. Because him going out 3-point line, nobody not getting rebounds. Come on, the other game he couldn't even get 4 rebounds. 4 rebounds? What the fuck?
I just think that positionally, y'all have issues because Horford's one of the better defenders as far as guarding Bam or guarding any action on the perimeter. It's just that
Bam has been scorching him the last 2 games, though.
Williams isn't going to be no better because Williams is not an offensive threat, so he doesn't even have to guard him. So he's fully amped up and fully ready on offense. Bam is when he comes down to the other end. I think that at the end of the day, what he did at the end of the third quarter when they were down 15 is what they should have been doing since game 2. It should have been double teaming Jimmy. You get the ball out of Jimmy's hand. You double team Jimmy. And you run some sort of offense.
The first quarter in game 2, Williams had the first 6 points for the Celtics. He can move, he can get under the rim, and he can create in the paint. He showed that.
I think Williams is a person that feeds off of everybody else. And you have guards that want to shoot shots. You don't start Brogdon. Brogdon is the creator. They're playing. I feel like they're playing Derek White too many minutes because he's a liability on defense and he's not really doing anything on offense. And like I said, your 2 stars are not taking the challenge and guarding the other team's best player. They should be taking turns guarding him. There shouldn't be a scenario where anybody other than those 2 are guarding him. Maybe Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's too small. You don't want him guarding him. You have to make solid decisions as far as when we're going to double team Jimmy and what we're going to do on offense. We have to move the ball. We have to move the ball. We have to come out with some sort of set plays. They're not running any plays.
Multiple games now that Jimmy, Bayo, and the role players got to eat. That's a problem. Look, Caleb Martin coming off the bench almost or starting and getting you double-digit points every
25 points in game 2 to be exact.
He's dogging. He's a dog. He's undrafted. He's got Jimmy in his ear.
All of these guys coming off the bench, the role players, all fucking playing lights out every single game, and to watch Jimmy do it too. Who's the focal point of the defense? Who are we? What are we trying to do on defense? There's no communication from the coach to the players, and if
it's one of the best defensive teams in the league. Like it's last night is not a microcosm of the games, but game 2 and 3 have just shown late game that at the end of the day they have somebody that they trust and want to give the ball to, and they have a clear plan. The Boston Celtics don't have a clear plan at the end of the game when it's tight. They don't really have a clear plan unless one of the 2 are cooking, like how freaking Tatum was with the 50 ball against Philly. Unless one of them are completely cooking, they don't really have an idea or a plan on any given play or any given offense. You have Marcus Smart running the show, and that's bad.
And I feel like Boston has lost their identity because for me, for what I've saw in these playoffs, because I watched a little bit of the regular season, but when it comes down to Boston, I think they lost their identity. Identity was second chance points, in my opinion. A lot of if you look at it, everybody outside of Robert Williams, everybody is sitting at the 3-point line. So when
that's been their bread and butter.
So yeah, understand that. But if Al Horford is shooting a 3-pointer and Robert Williams is not in the game, you have no rebounders. Or this it is. You don't even see the Boston Celtics players even crashing to try to box out and get boards.
No, because they're going to get ran off the court. That's why Miami's running them off the court off of makes and misses. So the difference in this series has been the fact that the number 1 3-point shooting team has been outshot badly from 3-point range by a team that's not really a high percentage 3-point shooting team. They don't shoot a lot of volume in threes, Miami Heat. That's not their game. Their best player doesn't shoot a lot of threes. They have been outshot and scorched from 3-point range by a team it's not that it shouldn't happen, but it's just the fact that you were the number one team in 3-point shooting makes, 3-point shooting differential, and you're getting outshot by 60, 90 points from 3-point range by a team that doesn't shoot threes. That's bad. That's bad. That's just strictly bad. Your team is not hitting shots. You're not paying attention to the scout report on defense on people that you just can't leave. You can't leave Kyle Lowry. You can't leave Duncan Robinson. You can't leave Gabe Vincent. You can't leave Max Strus. You just can't leave these players. The same thing with the Lakers. We're leaving. These two teams are leaving people that have shown all season to be able to hit shots, and it's been killer late game. It's been killer late game, especially in the Lakers series where the games have been relatively close, and just late game you're leaving Bruce Brown open. He's been hitting threes. You're leaving Jeff Green open. He's hitting timely threes. It's backbreakers. It's killer. It's just more glaring for Boston because they were the number one 3-point shooting team.
It just feel good that I took my towels to Miami right at the right time, and I ordered some Miami stuff this morning.
So you got your final shit.
With the little bit of money I got, I had in my account. I ended up ordering some Miami Heat stuff. So yeah,
Keep the same energy with the next series. Just keep the same energy.
I think that, listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you. The next series is going to be a good series. I don't think that's going to be a walk in the park. I don't think Miami's going to lay down against Denver, and I don't think Denver's going to lay down against Miami. I just think you have two good coaches that know how to strategize and have a plan. That's exactly what Denver does, and that's exactly what Miami does. Because I'm gonna be honest, Ed. If you think that the Lakers are coming back from 3-0, I don't know. I just don't see it.
I mean, shit. All it takes is one. You win a game. You know, you never know. But I don't see them coming back from down 3-0. No team has ever come back from down 3-0. So I'm not ignorant in that fact that there's been 196 teams that have went up 3-0 and all of them have won. So it's just not.
You're not that crazy. You're not that bozo.
I know basketball at the end of the day. Like, if we're not, you can win 4 straight games at any given time. But the fact that against the same team over and over again, it's very hard to play the same team another 4 straight games and try to win 4 straight times. It's just almost impossible. Right. As far as coming back, and the team that's winning, they already have the. It's not that they have the winning formula. It's just that, like I say, these last 2 games have been just backbreakers in the sense that we have been in position to win, in position to take a 1-1, make it 1-1 or possibly 2-1, and they have faltered late game. They ran out of gas in Denver, and then they came home and they ran out of gas again at home. So it's like these games have been competitive. They've been close. They've been points in the game where the Lakers have looked like the Lakers, and the fact that these 2 series have come down to the number one thing, like coaching. Coaching matters. You have 2 veteran coaches that have been with their teams for multiple years versus coaches that have just got there. They just got their job as head coaches. So it's like, you know, and it's and not to be, you know what I mean? There's no more victories. There are no excuses. The Lakers started 2-10. You have a complete upheaval of a roster. It is what it is. Like there were no expectations for this team coming into the season. There were no expectations for this team coming into the playoffs as the 8th seed.
So in this prediction that because they do play tonight, game 4, in this prediction, is the Lakers going to go back to Denver or the Lakers are staying home?
I predict the Lakers, as far as just pride, I think they have more prideful players that will just come out there and it will be a fight at the end of the day. It'll be a fight. If we don't come out paying attention to detail, we don't come out getting back on defense, we're going to go home. We're going to be home. We're going to stay home. If they come out and fight and play the way that they can play, they'll probably win this game and then go back to Denver. You take it from there. But there's no tomorrow. We're obviously going to play like there's no tomorrow. LeBron's not going to fold. He's not going to quit. AD is not going to quit. These players aren't going to quit. Ham definitely, as a former player, is not going to just lay down. So it's like, you know, we'll see. We'll see with adjustments, and you know what I mean? What it's not even really adjustments because all the adjustments have been made as far as offensively and defensively. It's just late game shot making. You have to make shots. And the other team is just making contested shit that's just like there's nothing you can do. You shake a guy's hand. You're in the NBA. It's not high school. Like most players can get hot, and most players can shoot and can score. And if a guy gets hot, then there's really nothing you can do. outside of double team, and you leave other guys open as far as schematic basketball shit. So there's really nothing you can do. You just hope that they're not hot.
Lakers, I want more LeBron. I want more from LeBron.
LeBron he's playing at the highest peak he can play. Like they're keying in on him. They know he's one of the better creators on the team. Denver Nuggets, this Denver team has paid attention to the scout report. You cut the hit off the snake and everybody else will die.
I mean,
even though Reeves has looked good and AD has looked decent in some games, if LeBron, if you can neutralize LeBron, then it's like there's nothing.
I've seen multiple times talking about this series where LeBron could have he drives to the paint and then passes out when he could have got the and one. He could have got.
He's a pass first player. That's his game.
I mean,
that's always been his game.
But when the game is on, he's got to do that. Like, especially with this team.
I just think late game, we just haven't hit shots. We're getting quality looks. If you're watching the games, we're getting quality looks. They're just not hitting. And Denver's hitting there.
Go get an and one.
I agree to disagree. I agree to disagree.
I'm saying like LeBron needs to take over in that sense. Like stop trying to pass it all the time, especially when you're
you make the right play. If the paint's packed, you have to pass it. You can try to force it up. Like you're making that shot, it's slim to none. You have to pass it when the paint's packed.
But at the same time, this is a LeBron James that gets any call and every call that he gets. So even if he does drop to them,
in this series, that's not true though.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He doesn't get the hard fouls, but he gets the fouls. He's the best male actor for getting the Oscar. He does get
LeBron doesn't get the obvious fouls, and that's the problem. He's driving to the rack, getting hit multiple times late game, and he's not getting the foul. So we're not going to sit here and bitch about fouls. We're all watching the game. We're all obviously watching him drive to the lane and get hit 3-4 times before you go up with a layup. If you're not going to get that call, it's like what's the point of continually driving if you're not going to get that call and they're going to just whack him? He's going to miss. You're going to miss. You're getting beat up going to the rim, and you're not going to get a call. You got Scott Foster on the whistle. Like it's not going to happen.
So you prefer him to jack up threes instead of going to the lane.
I prefer the team to try to create open looks and to get out and run. I think that when we are in a half court setting, late game, a lot of things are just funneled in and just they don't do the right things. It's not you know what I mean? LeBron on defense is not what's killing the team. What's killing this team is the fact that late game we're not hitting shots. We're not hitting shots, and this team is hitting shots.
For me, I just feel like Mike Malone, every time the Lakers go on a run, he knows how to counter adjust. When y'all go on a run, he calls the timeout and he makes his adjustments, and those adjustments work. I think he goes off of what Darvin Ham does. If Darvin Ham's going to make an adjustment on his team and he see that the Lakers is going on a run, then Mike Malone's going to call his timeout and make his adjustments. And I said this before the season even started. Mike Malone is one of those coaches that counter adjust. He counters to what other coaches does, and that's what makes the Denver Nuggets so effectively good right now. It's not just shooting; it's definitely coaching. It's a chess match.
That's what I said. It's a chess match. The adjustments have been, like you say, the countering to the adjustments have just been that the Lakers and Ham have been slow to sub out players that need to be subbed out. You have to. You can start the game one way, but when it's getting rolling in a certain way and certain guys are rolling, you just can't sub them out. Outside of it being foul trouble, you have to leave them in. You have to leave them into their gas. You can't just sub out. You can't sub out your best defensive guard. You can't keep subbing in Rui late. You just can't do these things. You can't have minutes where it's LeBron off the court without AD, or AD on the court without a lead guard. AD and D'Angelo running together has just not been a great matchup.
So you think it's the rotation is the issue as far as rotation with coming
rotations because we're not out. When you look at the runs that they're going on, are coincided with certain players being off the court. With certain players being off the court, our offense has been gone to shit because they're packing the paint, and LeBron's just not, you know what I mean? He's not in a position, and AD hasn't just been put in the position to eat properly when it's time to eat. At the end of the day, D'Angelo's taking bad shots and he's getting blown up on defense, and it's just like, bro. He's minus we're minus 90 with him on the court. We're plus 60 with him on the bench.
Facts. I mean,
those are facts. He's not playing well. So stop playing him.
I just feel like D'Angelo Russell needs to get out the goddamn lineup because he's such a liability on defense. He's just him and I understand Vando's a great defensive player, but he's like you said, he's too slow for Jamal Murray. And I don't understand why you take Dennis Schroeder out the lineup. I just don't understand it. I'm not a fan of Dennis Schroeder at all, but defensively, he's the better player. But in the same token, you see that he did make that adjustment, and then Jamal Murray didn't do much in that second half. But look, Jokic woke up from the dead in that fourth quarter because everybody else stepped up with the Bruce Browns and the Michael Porters and the Caldwell Popes. That's Denver
they switched the lineup
out that Miami's taking, or vice versa.
That's the problem. They switched the lineup. You have scenarios where you have AD guarding someone else so he can be a rim protector and he can clear up the backboard. Late game, they didn't have Rui or LeBron on Jokic. And at the end of the day, when AD goes to contest a shot, when AD goes to contest anybody's shot, Jokic is rolling down the lane and there's nobody else to block out. The guards aren't bumping down the block out. LeBron isn't bumping down the block out. Neither is Rui bumping down the block out when he's not guarding him. And it's just leaving an open lane for him to run down the middle of the lane and catch it, rebound, put it back up. He's playing with it at the end of the day because AD's out of position.
So Matt, who you taking tonight in Game 4? Denver and Lakers in LA. Do the Lakers stay home and get swept, or Denver is going back home to win on their home floor?
For me, it's a hard choice. I'm not gonna lie, it really is, because Denver showed you everything that they can do. But again, I'm siding with Ed here. I think they win this game because they're not going to get swept. They're just not. I got, even if LeBron doesn't carry it, I think AD and everybody else, like LeBron is definitely going to be in the locker room with these guys today, saying, "Look, man, I don't give a fuck. You know what happens after this game? This game we're coming to win." And honestly, they have to win this game. If they don't win this game, this is the biggest loss of LeBron's career. And I mean, personally, I know they're better than this. I know they are.
See, but Dante, that's not true. LeBron took the challenge multiple times. Like, I'm reading the comments, like he took the challenge multiple times to try to guard Murray on the perimeter. He's in year 20. You don't want him doing that, but he can do that in spurts. But he can't do that the whole game.
Yeah,
it's not his game.
No, I mean,
he's not his position anymore.
You cannot ask that much of LeBron.
You can't ask that much of him for defensively, bro. You just can't. It's not an excuse. It's just a fact. He can't move around on the court like he used to. He can't move around like in the court like he did earlier this season. He's clearly not the same player.
Yeah, he's still dealing with a foot injury. Like,
I don't like to use injuries as an excuse, but it's just a fact. If you can't move around on the basketball court, then you're going to get attacked. You're going to get attacked in closeouts. You're going to get attacked. You're going to get attacked on the backboard. And people are they're going to put faster players on you to try to compete. That's why he's went into a post-up mode. That's why he went into post-up LeBron, because he can't beat anybody off the dribble other than small Jamal Murray, and they're not accepting the switch anymore. Aaron Gordon, they have Jamal Murray showing and hedging on the screen now instead of just completely switching, and Aaron Gordon's been getting back into the play and being able to guard and continue the rest of the rotations. And like I say, late game, they're just not hitting shots. We're getting decent looks, quality looks. We're just not hitting. You go on 11-0 run in the fourth quarter, you're just not scoring. You're clearly not scoring.
Yeah.
So
you're not getting back on defense.
So,
the fast break differential has been terrible this series. You're not getting back on defense. They're running this off the court.
Now, I'm pretty torn about this Game 4 because Denver, they could win on another person's floor, and the Lakers, they're good at home. But this, my nervous thing about it is, well, how the Lakers are going to respond in the fourth. That's my only issue. How the Lakers will respond.
You got to put it away early, bro.
How
you got to come out and show some sort of fight and put it away early.
But the thing about it is, sometimes it's not like that all the time, though. Because even though the Lakers can start out early, Denver is a team for coming back. They have that ability to come back. One thing about Denver, you're not going to never count them out.
We were down 23.
Denver, no matter if they down 13, 14, 15, they're going to find their way to climb back into a game. I mean, we've seen the Lakers do it the last 3 games,
Yeah,
where
the problem
Denver
is that,
has been up convincingly, and the Lakers made runs to come back, and vice versa. I think Denver can do the same thing, but I'm nervous of what that second half is going to be by the Lakers. That is my only nervous, because I picked the Lakers. I picked the Lakers to win last game, and they kind of let me down, because now I picked the Lakers to win the game 3, and then they let me down. So I'm nervous to pick them again. I think Denver have their number, and I think Denver wins tonight. Unfortunately, I'm torn, and I'm not. If the Lakers win tonight, I'm not surprised. I won't be shocked, but I'm nervous to pick them, because every time I pick them to win, they let me down. So with that being said, I'm taking Denver, and I think Denver's going to win by at least 4 or 5 points. No blowout. It's going to be a competitive game. And I like what I see from this series, even though Denver's up 3-0, but it's been a competitive 3-0 in that.
The thing with this team is that you just can't, if it gets to the fourth quarter and it's close and we run out of gas again, they're going to lose again. They have to find some sort of regiment, some sort of rehydration regiment, something with the rotation, something to keep these guys fresh late game. Whereas though the problem is that we haven't been able to sustain leads or get back into the game when we have 1 or our 2 star players off the court. They both have to be on the court. But at this point in LeBron's career, it's not realistic for him to play 48 minutes every night. It's just not.
I don't think he has at his age and playing 20 years in the league. I don't think he can play up to 40 minutes a night. I just don't see that happening.
Not consistently. He
doesn't.
No. And he doesn't. So that's like, bro, you're asking too much of this player. You're asking too much of one guy. It's a team game at the end of the day. You're asking too much. Year 15 LeBron, maybe. Year 14 LeBron, maybe. But year 20, he's going to do what he can do. He's going to do what he does. But it's going to be in spurts. It's going to be he's at a point in his career where he's picking his spots. And he only can pick his spots when his team is, and when everybody's up to snuff. You got your starting guards not really doing anything. Austin Reeves is the only guard that's been creating. Austin Reeves is the only guard that's been scoring. And Rui Hachimura has been the only forward outside of LeBron that's been able to do anything offensively.
But outside them two, somebody else going to have to step up. Austin Reeves can't do it like that. And then for me, I mean, D'Angelo Russell has not been shooting well in this series. Schroeder has stopped taking shots in this series. We know he can shoot this 3 when he's wide open. I don't want him to keep like that's what I said about Gabe Vincent in game 2. Gabe Vincent was wide open and many of times in that game 2, and he gave up those shots. And that's what Schroeder is doing for the Lakers. And Schroeder, if you're wide open, take the damn shot.
The problem with Dennis is that it's just bad. It's his basketball style. His form is slow. His startup for his form is slow. He has a slow shot release. He has a slow release on his shot. So you can contest his shit even if he's naked wide open. A lot of his threes that he do hit and take and hit are contested threes. They're contested threes because even though he's wide open, his startup for his form is slow as hell.
Right.
It's just slow. He can create offensively by getting downhill and being crafty and speedy, but that's only going to get us but so far because he's not an offensive hub. We're not running offense through him. He's more of an attack, a closeout, and make the next play happen and the play happen. But we have to lean on our strengths, AD and LeBron, and those two have to play better. They have to objectively play better. It's no debate. AD's conditioning has been trashed. There's no way that Jokic should be beating you up the court every time. He has to stop complaining in the backcourt to the refs. It is what it is. It's the same thing with Ayton. These people are in better condition, but he clearly has more drive than these two. He's shown more dog offensively and just wherewithal than AD and Ayton these past 2 series, and it's shown.
So before we get into any other topics here, we're going to go into our bet segment here for tonight's game, which will be live tonight, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. For game 4, but we're going to get into the bet segment of this for all you sports bettors out there that want to do this game 4 bet line here, which is presented by Bet Us and hopefully real soon FanDuel. If I get an email back from them, I'm emailing them back today. I wish they had a phone number so I could call their behinds. But Mac put these lineups here for y'all today, so receive 125%. Sportsbook upon your initial deposit with Bet Us. The link is definitely in the description. So, Mac, take us home and let us know how you feel about these 3 bets here and what bet is your actual lock in this situation.
Okay, so the first bet got the Denver Nuggets winning. Pick the over. Total points. Austin Reeves to score 10 points. Porter to score 10. Brown to score 10. Jokic, Murray, and Davis all with 20 points. Porter, Reeves, and Brown all with making 1 3-pointer. I mean, this is one of the better bets. I mean, again, this is picking the Denver Nuggets to win and for it to be over. So, like I said, I mean, personally, this isn't my favorite bet, but this is a good bet because if the Denver Nuggets have won 3 straight in a row against LA, maybe they do got their number. Maybe they do pull it out. The rest of these guys, they all obtainable. Nothing really stretching out the park. For $1, you win 12. It's plus 1,200. It's pretty easy money. Moving over, got another one. This is more of a spicy bet here. This actually comes from my son, my 15-year-old. He wanted to help make a parlay, and
Wait, so this middle parlay is made by your son?
Yeah, my 15-year-old. So we were going over the numbers and everything, and he was like, yeah, he felt pretty confident with this Denver winning. He says it's going to be a low-scoring, tight game. So he's got the under 224. Austin Reeves with 20-plus points. AD with 25-plus points. Jokic with 25-plus points. Both Jokic and Davis with over 8 rebounds. Murray with 4 assists. And then Caldwell Pope, Jamal Murray, and Austin Reeves, all 3 with making 2 3-pointers. And that's like a plus 21,000.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah, $1. Like, as you can see, $1 pays out for 147.
Right.
So
I might have to take that spicy bet, man. Just I got a little bit of money. I might take that spicy bet.
I know, right? I mean, I put $1 on it because I was like,
I mean, you ain't losing nothing but $1. That's that's 4 quarters. So why not?
Oh, absolutely. And then to the far right, this is more of my. I guess you say I feel this is more of a lock than all of them. And as you can see, like I couldn't get the plus in there, but it's you bet $1 to win 14, so it's a plus 1,400. So I got the over 220. I got LeBron James, Austin Reeves scoring over 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jokic and Davis and Murray scoring over 25. No, Jokic and Murray. I mean, Jokic and Davis is 25-plus points. Murray is 20 points. Then I got Davis and Jokic, 8 rebounds. Murray, 4 assists. LeBron, 6 assists. Murray, Austin, and James all with making 2 3-pointers. And again, I mean, we've seen it happen in this series a couple times already. Most of these guys, this is what they average. So I mean, some of them's a little above the average, some of them's just a little below the average. But all 3 of these you're definitely they're definitely winnable bets. Like I always say, if you don't like how I set it up, you can always change something out, put a different pick that you feel is a lock in there. This is just essentially like a starting point for anybody, whether you want to make this whole bet or you want to pick and choose from any of the 3 bets. I mean, go with what you feel, but always remember, never overextend yourself. Only bet what you're willing to lose.
Facts. So, yeah, I'm really considering now. I got $1 on me that I could probably just risk and take that middle bet. But I kind of like the middle bet better than the one on the left and the one on the right. But hey, if you want to do $1 for all 3 of these and just lose $3, if you lose $3, hey, you're not losing much at the end of the day. So
yeah,
I mean, just by Mac breaking it down and the reason why he make these bets the way he make these bets is helping me learn as well, because I have bet us. So now I could go into bet us. If I want to sign up and put some deposits down, I can actually, try to do a same game parlay with bet us or do a sports book. Now, my question to you is this. Now, if I want to do a over under for this game, because I see that you have the middle one under and the one to the left and the right over. So if I just want to do an over and under, if I want to use bet us, what would be my best suggestion? Like what would be your lock if I wanted to go on bet us right now, put in a deposit, and just want to do over under? What would be the best lock that if I wanted to bet this?
So I mean, the average points in the series is what you're looking at. What are these teams doing to each other? How are these teams scoring against each other? And that's where how I base it off of. Now you've got 3 games to kind of see who's shooting what on which team, and then you just base it off of averages. So I know if all these guys hit their average, we're going to be over on the points. And
And
more so, it's like you need more people to have off nights to not hit to not hit the over. And
okay,
and again, when you have a defensive team like LA that usually does limit their opponents to under 110 points, and which means they don't even have to score 110 points most of the time, then you would go with the under, obviously, because you know what I mean. Like it's going to be just under that. It's going to be under 220. But again, like I said, with the way Denver's offense is played, and the way it has shown me through most of this series, other than the last game, and even the last game, no, I think the last game it was just under. It was under by a couple points.
okay,
But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm more comfortable betting the over, just because you're more than likely to have 1 or 2 people go off on each team and put up a high number of points. And like I said, Denver plays great team ball, and their team puts up a lot of points. The role players put up points, and then the Lakers, the same thing. Like you're gonna get some pretty average numbers from the majority of the guys. But the thing that kicks it is like if you got a guy like Rui that's going to come out and score 15 points, and then you got Reeves if he scores over 20 points.
right,
You know what I mean? If you got James scoring over 20 points, if you got Davis scoring somewhere in the 30s, and then you got Jokic scoring up in the higher 20s to the 30s. Murray hits 20. I mean, already right there, like you're already almost to the total.
right.
So if you know what I mean, you get 5-6 players to get single digits, and throw 2 more players out there hitting double digits like Porter or Gordon. You know what I mean? Like boom, now you're over.
Facts,
And the
facts,
way these games have
absolutely.
been going, like I wouldn't be surprised if you're looking at like a 55 to 63 at the halftime. Like I mean, because I feel like it's going to be within 10 points the majority of the game. Now,
Yeah, I think it will be a very competitive game, and you know what? I might go the over. I mean, I think it's gonna be a lot of scoring. I think I'm really confident in going to over, but at the same time, it's like okay,
well,
both of
the
these
whole thing
teams know how
is
to play defense as well.
that the Lakers are going to have to come out and show out, and that's what I mean. Like, I just don't see how the Lakers win this game and it not be over.
Right. Okay.
Especially if it comes down to the fourth quarter and say the Lakers are up by 10. The Lakers are going to have to put that shit in high gear and roll and continue to go to close out a game against these guys, because like you said earlier, Denver can switch it up and come back at any given time and score points in bunches. And that's why it's just like I'm not comfortable having a deadlock on who's going to win the game, because it all depends what Lakers team shows up. Is the Lakers that know that if they don't win this game, they're definitely going home? Or are they going to come out and they're going to fight and they're going to say, "Nah, fuck this. We ain't just bopping up out of here with a clean sweep." And
Facts.
that's honestly what I think, and that's why I said I'm much more comfortable going over, because I don't know what team's going to show up, and I'm not going to bet out the Lakers because I know the Lakers have been a good team all playoffs.
Exactly. So For anybody that's watching this segment, which I'll cut out and upload it to the channel, if anybody listening to this segment on the podcast, make sure y'all take the knowledge in and make sure you bet responsibly as well, and make sure you don't make it a gambling problem. If you do, FanDuel and Bet Us do have numbers to give a call if you do have a gambling problem of that nature. And this is presented by Bet Us and FanDuel. Shout out to FanDuel. You know, hopefully we could get that sponsorship going or that affiliate partnership going. And make sure y'all check these games out, man. Check these games out. And tonight would be the game 4 and see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. But in other news, it came out, I think it was last night or it came out this morning, that which I knew this was going to happen anyway. Eventually, Carmelo is officially retiring from the NBA. And I have to say, like, the man played 19 seasons in the NBA. You know, he's ninth in scoring with over 28,000. That's only LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone, Michael Jordan, Dirk, Wilt Chamberlain is the only ones to get over 28,000 points, which I had to look that up because I did not know that as well. I did look that up. Was selected as one of the 75 greatest players of all time, 10-time NBA All-Star, 6-time All-NBA team, 3-time gold medalist, national champion at Syracuse back in 2003. He is part of one of the greatest NBA drafts of all time with LeBron, Dwayne Wade,
Hall of Fame lock. A lot for the Hall of Fame. A complete lock.
Hall of Fame.
For sure. But see, it's not fair to ask us because we're gonna be biased as a motherfucker anyway. I don't care.
No, I'm just saying because, like,
I mean, he definitely is. But us being from Baltimore, I'm gonna tell you right now, with the career that he had, no shot in hell he doesn't go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's no shot. Even if he should be first ballot, but you know how the Hall of Fame works a little bit. It could be a little funky, but he should be your first ballot Hall of Famer, like no question. No question.
Absolutely, because I think Chris Bosh is already there. Dwayne Wade going in this year.
Come on, bro. If Chris Bosh can be a Hall of Famer, then Melo's a Hall of Famer.
I'm saying Chris Bosh it's already in, but he's already in. The reason why he's already in because he had in his career due to health reasons. But I think if Carmelo would have ended it around the same time Chris Bosh would have got in, I think they both would probably win it at the same time. And then LeBron's gonna be the last one to get in anyway because he's still playing. Dwayne Wade is getting in this year, so this could be like one of the greatest drafts outside of the Jordan and Jordan Bird,
Hakeem.
No,
don't go down there anymore.
So when it comes down to that, I mean, over his career, he averaged 22 and a half. You know, in the 19 seasons where he was with Denver, the Knicks, and I think he played for Portland. I think his last couple years of his career, if I'm not mistaken. And he played for the Lakers as well, if I'm not mistaken.
He did with the Lakers too. I think the only issue with Carmelo against the people trying to look at his career is that at some point in the middle part of his career, at the prime of his career, he chose to make money as opposed to trying to win. He could have went to Chicago. He could have went to Chicago with Wade. Could have went to Chicago with D Rose and them, but he just decided to take the contract from the Knicks, who weren't going anywhere. And you know what I mean? He waited too late to actually want to compete for winning. You know what I mean? To change his game up, to change the way he treats his body, to change the way that his mentality on offense and just his role position. He should have been not a 6-man, but he should have been someone that had taken a lesser role years before he got, you know what I mean, washed or whatever.
Can I ask this question though to y'all? Do y'all feel like Carmelo Anthony, he kind of wanted to pull like the Damian Lillard? I wouldn't say Damian Lillard, but I'm gonna say it anyway because Damian Lillard, we all know he's gonna be loyal to Portland. We know Carmelo was not gonna be loyal to Denver. We already knew that. They try to bring anybody and everybody in for him to Denver. He got to one Western Conference Finals, and that's the first that he got. But do you feel like
he wouldn't have been the same player?
He didn't want to go to a actual super team and go to a super team to try to solidify his career. Like, you know what? Understanding LeBron, he did it. We know that. Kevin Durant, he did it. Do you feel like Carmelo did not want to go down that route because of that? Because people want to say,
money thing.
Another team to get a championship. Like
it was the money issue. Like he had an option to shorten his contract, like LeBron did, like Wade did, like Bosh did that year they went to the Olympics. He had the option the year before to take a shorter contract to set himself up to be a free agent. And that was kind of the plan. But He took the extended years from New York, and then he read up again in New York. So it was like he valued making money and being prosperous over and it being his own team as opposed to going somewhere, taking a little less money and being able to go out a winner. Like he won't have that opportunity anymore. He had an opportunity with the Lakers at one time after we won the championship, but he waited too late to put himself in that position. That's the problem. He just waited too late. He's going to go down the Hall of Fame as a great player, but he wanted to make money as opposed to win.
Do y'all think he's one of the top 10 greatest shooters of all time when it comes to shooting basketball? Because I mean when it comes to the way his release and the way he's
shooting or scoring, because I
can say scoring instead of shooting, but I think
pure shooting, no.
He was
pure shooting, no.
He couldn't play defense worth a shit, but that motherfucker gets you a bucket almost every time you go down the court.
Yeah, he was a bucket. He was a bucket for sure. He was a bucket getter. That's the thing. He may not be efficient, but he was a bucket getter. That was his problem. His efficiency wasn't always there. He didn't take a lot of shots that you loved. There was a lot of hook shots, a lot of mid-range isolation shots. But I think that in certain areas he's a great shooter, but overall he's not nowhere near top 10 great shooter. But top 10 scorer, obviously, he can score from all three levels. And he has a post-up game, and he goes to it. He plays bully ball. He played bully ball before LeBron played bully ball. He's been playing bully ball since Denver.
Yeah.
So it's like he's been playing with his back to the basket, playing uber aggressive even before his athleticism went away. You feel me?
Because I really think Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Famer. I actually watched him.
Yeah.
I actually watched him in the Final Four and how he dominated with that University of Syracuse team and to win a national championship in 2003, which I was a sophomore in high school when he done that. Just telling my age, by the way. I was a sophomore in high school when he did that. And, I'm not gonna even lie though. He kind of brought the Braves back to the NBA because he came in with the Braves. Allen Iverson was on the in hole of not really the in hole of his career, but he tried to get out of Philadelphia at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So AI still had the Braves, and then he teamed him up with Carmelo, and he had the Braves, and it was just trying to bring that style back. But it's just cool to see his career that he is going to be a Hall of Famer. He might not be a first ballot due to the fact that he didn't win the NBA championship or big NBA finals.
I think his overall basketball career, because it is the Naismith Hall of Fame, it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. So right. I think that his old basketball career in totality, his great high school career at Oak Hill, he had a great college career, for the year that he stayed. He's a 3-4 time Olympic medalist. He has the most points.
He's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. He won one.
He has the most points
in two other places.
Doesn't he have the most points in Olympic history, the most 3-pointers in Olympic history, especially in a single tournament runs? I think his overall basketball career as a whole, on top of the great NBA career that he had, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer easily.
And I just want to have a quick segment about that because, I feel like the NFL needs the pro. If you're gonna call it the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I think you should call it the Football Hall of Fame. Something or make it behind because we're gonna get into the Jim Brown situation. Make it like Jim Brown something, Football Hall of Fame or something like that. Because a lot of players that go into the NFL, they go in the Hall of Fame. They just look at their professional career. But what did they do in college?
Because it's the NFL Hall of Fame. It's not the Football Hall of Fame. College has their Hall of Fame.
I think they should change that. Because if you look at it, you have players that had great careers in college and had great careers in the NFL as well. So
I think the difference is the international part of it, because football is not as broad of a sport as basketball is, just frankly. Okay. And basketball international players get into the Naismith Hall of Fame that haven't played a single game in the NBA. You know what I mean? Coaches and people that were influential to the game abroad have gotten into the Naismith Hall of Fame as far as their thing. You feel me? The NBA doesn't have has a specific thing for the NBA. And like I said, their game is just a lot broader. There isn't really an international scene for the NFL or for football that's been competitive You feel me? They play football in all countries. If you don't think so, please look it up. They play football in the majority of the countries overseas, but this is the fact
if
they
you
suck.
know that football is if you don't know that football is being played at international, you're living under a goddamn rock.
Yeah,
and
and
the CFL definitely has one. Sorry,
yeah, the Olympic aspect of it just makes it even better because because you can bring all of the best players together and they can play basketball, baseball, hockey, shit like that. So it's like when NFL gets abroad, then maybe, but the sport itself is just not indicative of that. You feel me?
Oh yeah, I dig it. I just feel like when NFL players go into the Hall of Fame, at least put some accolades of what they did in college. Was they a Heisman Trophy winner? Did they break records? Did they do that? At least mention it.
Like I'll say this though, with football, you see guys who are in the college, football Hall of Fame that they never do nothing in.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
that's true. Jack shit. Tim Tebow.
That didn't do shit in college.
Tim Tebow.
By the skin of their teeth, but became
Reggie Bush.
Look at Harrison. Look at James Harrison. James Harrison was like, he was okay at best in college. He had one decent year, but still nobody wanted to Ravens let him walk on. They signed him to the practice squad. Then Steve signed him. You guys know the rest of the story.
Yeah. Do you feel like, James Harrison, do you feel like James Harrison is really a Hall of Famer? Let's be
as far as an NFL player, for sure.
Hell yeah.
For sure. NFL wise, easily. He's easily a Hall of Famer.
I feel like he had his moments, and I feel like
what's his numbers?
No, hear me out. I feel like he had his moments, and I feel like the game changed because of him. But do I put him up there as one of the top 10 linebackers of all time?
As far as pass rushing? I
don't put him
being a Ravens fan.
He's in my top 10 linebackers. I put him in my bottom 5. He's not a top 5 linebacker of all time, in my opinion.
Let me make my argument now. You put Joe Thomas in the Hall of Fame. Why does he deserve?
I disagree with that. I
don't disagree with Joe Thomas being a Hall of Famer. Even though he played for the shitty Browns, he was an All-Pro player. He was an All-Pro. He was the best player at his position every year. He was an All-Pro player for multiple seasons in a row. What was it, like 9 or 10 years in a row? He was an All-Pro tackle. Like, even though he played for the shitty Browns, you can't take away the fact that he was one of the best tackles in the game. He was one of the best. It was Pro Bowls, All Pros, and starts. Joe Thomas is a Hall of Famer.
Look, I watched him get beat to hell by the Steelers. I watched him get beat to hell by the Ravens.
That's us. That's us, bro. He's still a All Pro player.
But my question
is, that's what I'm saying is, if Joe Thomas can get into the Hall of Fame, then James Harrison should 100% be in the Hall of Fame.
I think his numbers and his impact alone. I think it's just his impact in certain situations.
His impact. His numbers is not making him Hall of Fame worthy.
No.
100.
Michael Strahan did it. You're making it seem like nobody can get 100 sacks. Like the way the NFL is set up now, we see multiple defensive players do it. I get 100 sacks, depending on what position you play. So if that's the case, then 100 sacks at the linebacker position. Didn't Ray Lewis do that as well? I'm just saying.
No, Ray Lewis ain't no have no 100 sacks.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically. I'm just saying, like, it's easy to get 100 sacks these days. It really is. But
James Harrison ain't played in what, almost 5-6 years?
I just don't see. I don't know if it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just don't see nothing memorable of him being in the Hall of Fame outside of him playing in that Super Bowl when he got the pick 6 in Arizona. That's me. That's the only thing that really stands out to me for James Harrison. I understand he has the big hits. He has a lot of fines. He makes great tackles. He makes great sacks. It's cool. But outside of all of that, what else has he done? To me, stat-wise.
You got to bring up his numbers. Where he ranking sacks? Where he ranking pressures? Shit like that.
For me, at his time with James Harrison, I really can't name another linebacker that was really great around his time. You saw linebackers leaving the game when James Harrison was there. I don't think of any linebackers right now I mean, not right now, but any linebackers around that time that was just as good as him. So he really stands in the lane of his own.
So that
the NFL is that they just have a loose entry. Like the entry process and the requirements for the NFL's Hall of Fame is just not as stringent.
So I have a question.
Hall of Fames are.
As far as pass rushers go, if a pass rusher doesn't have 100 sacks, do they belong in the NFL Hall of Fame?
Well, like I said, it goes to other factors. It goes to other factors.
The NFL is a lot.
The NFL has a lot of factors on who gets in the Hall of Fame and who doesn't.
A lot of off the field shit and a lot of just impact of the game. Like I said, they have one of the looser, you know what I mean, entry requirements, entry thresholds for their Hall of Fame. Everybody gets into the NFL Hall of Fame. If you play semi-decent, you're going to probably make the NFL Hall of Fame.
But it's some players there's some players that have made impacts in different positions that still didn't get in.
I mean, I think that certain positions is a backlog, like wide receiver. There's clearly a backlog at wide receiver for people to get in, to get into Hall of Fame. You have players that have just retired getting in over people that have been retired for 20 plus years, 20, 30 plus years. It took Drew Pearson how long to get into Hall of Fame? He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. It took him how many years to get in? Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
But speaking of Hall of Famers, actually a legitimate Hall of Famer, Jim Brown, an actor, an activist, right after the show that we did on Friday, passed away at the age of 87. Me personally, in the story, when I went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame last year, I was able to see Jim Brown. I wasn't able to actually meet him, but when they was having their, they had their little dinner the first night of the Hall of Fame, right, the night before the game, and they have all the Hall of Famers come through. Whoever wants to come, they show up. So I seen so many different players, but I was able to see Jim Brown in person, which is something memorable that I had to my heart. So I do have a video of that. But to me, top 5 running back of all time, Jim Brown was the reason why the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. That's just keep it like it is. They definitely did a lot of work in the community as far as, being a part of the civil rights movement and, being an actor and leaving the game in his prime to go pursue a different career. It's still, to me, it's still top 5 running back of all time, probably top 3 in my opinion.
He was forced out the league.
No, he left. Yeah, but he left the game in his prime, though.
Yeah, I know.
Backs, he might be
forced him out because they were like,
he averaged the most over a season per game. What was 100? He's only running back to average that. Like he's one of the best running backs ever. Top 2, top 3. Slice up.
I put him top 2. There's only one better, and he's tied. And then he's tied with the second greatest running back ever. I put Barry number 1, and I put him and Sweetness tied for number 2.
Barry's top 5, but I don't know about being over Jim Brown. I just don't.
He's not over Jim. As far as just strictly just running the ball, Barry's top. Barry might be the best running back, but as far as that, along with the accomplishments and the things that you actually have to do on the field, Jim Brown's the best running back ever. He's the best running back you need. He's top 2, top 3 in the GOAT discussion to me.
Oh no! I mean, and that. What I'm saying is again, I'm not debating his greatness because, like you said, he is hands down as far as the competence, as far as history, as far as who the fuck that badass motherfucker was. He was number 1, absolutely. You're talking about a guy who you could put in any generation of football and he still dominates.
And it's crazy because even like Ed was saying that he ran for 100 yards in the 58 of the 118 games of the regular season and never missing a game. He rushed for 1,000 yards in 7 seasons, including the 1,527 yards in one of the 12 game seasons and 1,863 yards in a 14 game season. So just imagine if the style of Jim Brown's running game in today's league in a 17 game season, he's clearly getting 2,000 or more.
Jim he was basically the fullback. He was the fullback. He was basically just a wrecking ball. Like he did this with a shoddy offensive line, no quarterback.
Yeah, you go to a Cleveland Browns team that was in their in their glory days back in those 50s and those 60s and probably a little bit in the 70s as well. But we all know, he left the game in his prime of other things because he retired at 30 at the top of his career. Then he started filming movies. And then he started getting into the activism as well for the civil rights movement and stuff like that. But he made an impact on and off the field. And I ain't gonna lie, like even though that he had we're not going to throw this away either. He had a great career at Syracuse. We're not going to do that. He was the man at Syracuse. You ain't watched the Express, then I don't know what to tell you.
He played lacrosse as well. Like he was a
yes.
track star. He was all around athlete. Like Jim Brown is one of the greatest athletes of all time. Period.
Absolutely.
Could have been the greatest lacrosse player of all time.
Yeah,
because that man he played every sport damn near. He was like Bo Jackson, like Bo knows. You can make a shirt and say Jim knows. Damn well.
I put Bo up. If we're going off topic a little bit, I put Bo in the top 5 as well because even without the injuries, like Bo was the top 5 athlete of all time. He's a
top 5 athlete, but as far as running back, that's tough. Even though I'm a Raiders fan, that's tough.
Running back, he's one of the top 5 running backs of all time without the injuries.
Without the injuries, but the injuries happened.
I mean, they did, but as far as when he was on the field and his production, like Bo was just unstoppable. He was unstoppable. The same thing with Adrian Peterson. When Adrian Peterson was on the football field actually playing, Adrian Peterson was one of the most unstoppable running backs of all time. Period.
I think he's one of the greatest running backs. I think one of the greatest running backs to come out of college, in my opinion.
Yeah, easily. That's easy. Him and LT, as far as we talk about college careers, Barry Sanders, Darion Hopkins, Adrian Peterson, one of the best. They had some of the best college careers of all time.
But if you listen to those 3 running backs that you just said, right, all of them played in the same conference in the Big 12. Oklahoma State for Barry Sanders, and then you have Adrian Peterson at Oklahoma. Like you got these guys that played in the Big 12 that had even TCU with LaDainian Tomlinson, even though TCU wasn't even a popular school back then when he was playing, but LaDainian Tomlinson put up numbers while he was in college, and it definitely converted over to him to being in the NFL.
Could you consider him a little bit inflated to play against pass heavy teams? You know what I mean? Pass coverage heavy team defenses, and just like a team, a conference that's just never been really known for defense, and he just torched them. Especially Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders made the shit look too easy. He made it look too easy in college.
Only reason he is my top running back because, bro, I'm old enough to remember watching Barry Sanders as a kid, watching him play and watching him like, dude, it didn't matter who was his offensive line, he was gonna get his. No matter how many cuts, jukes, spins, he did whatever he needed to do, and sometimes he literally had to take on the whole team by his damn self. There's no player I've seen before him, since then, heard of, or even kind of was able to do all of the things he did. Yes, some people have had flashes similar, have had great plays, and have good sense. But for somebody to have it all exactly like him, that's why he's my number 1. Imagine if he did play for a good team. Imagine if he had an offensive line that was going to go out there and punch motherfuckers in the face and block for him. Jesus Christ, man, that would have been scary. Imagine, I mean, if he had an offensive line, you're talking about a guy who, like, pretty much every season of his career could have put up well over 2,000 yards rushing.
I get your point. I get your point with Barry Sanders because I know he didn't have an offensive line. He was with a bad organization,
and talent wise, better, in my opinion, as far as a running back than Jim Brown. Jim Brown, you have to understand that is he was a freaking freight train. He could run fast. He was just as big as most defenders were, linebackers and some linemen.
He was punishing them too, though.
Yes, he was using his brute force and skill. He had a phenomenal footwork. He could move in a phone booth all day long and find clear space. That's why I'm saying the only person I have even close, like next to him is Sweetness. And you're not going to tell me him and Peyton, like, yeah, Peyton was a little more finesse than he was, but them guys still, they wrecking balled some shit. They would run over motherfuckers.
I mean, even before Sweetest, if you want to go back to Gale Sayers. Gale Sayers was just as great as before, before he got injury. But if you look at Gale Sayers' numbers, which I have his throwback jersey, but Gale Sayers is definitely one of those underrated guys that people don't talk about that's actually in the Hall of Fame.
I know who he is because, fortunately, in school I got to watch Brian's song.
I gotta help moms, bro. I'm stalling out now. She texted me now. I gotta put his furniture together, bro. But shit, you know who I like? I like us tonight. Hopefully we can pull it off. R.I.P. Go Jim Brown.
Give me the keys to the game.
Man, keys to the game is just like if we could put them away early and get the crowd behind us like we should have did game 3, then we'll be fine. Shit, we win this game. We go back to Denver. We played tough in Denver. Can we still win in Denver? That crowd's gonna be crazy. Who knows? But that's too far down the line. We need to win this game tonight. We need to get this game tonight. I predict us to win by at least 5 or 10. I think predict LeBron to come out and just gangbusters. Even if he shoot a bunch of shots that we don't like, I think he's gonna shoot excessively tonight.
Wait. Before you leave, Mac, you ready for that bet, bro?
Yeah.
What bet?
You know the bet, man.
What's the bet?
The dollar?
The bet he had to dye his hair.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, listen. I pray for y'all going home. Y'all go home. So when I see you again, you know what I mean? Probably the day after next or something like that. We need to get that out. You might as well go ahead and start buying it now. You might as well go ahead and stop by the hair store, get you some dye, get all your stuff ready to go. We both going home, bro. I don't see us coming back from 3-0, so we're both going to fuck off. I don't care how many games.
I should have bet with the Lakers. I should have bet with you for the Lakers as well. I should have bet it. I would have been like, hey, go buy you a Denver Nuggets jersey and wear 24 hours.
If it was football, I would agree with you because I love basketball as a principle, but I love the Ravens. I love basketball as a sport. I don't love the Lakers. I love the Ravens. Like if you would have said bet on the football, then cool, we can bet all day on football because I have supreme confidence in my team. I think we're gonna go 16-0 every damn season. I'm a blind. So
I think everybody team think they're gonna go 16-0 before the season starts. Not me. I don't have those high expectations as a Raiders fan. I just don't.
I don't. I can honestly say I ain't never heard that dumb shit come out of a Ravens fan's mouth.
I think we have the option, the ability to win every game that we play. We should win every game because we play defense. Coming back to defense, we play defense. We just move the ball.
You say that to people
every fucking game.
Claim that you can walk around and be like, yeah, we're going 16-0.
I sit there and say every year that we should go at least 12-4.
I see, but you're not gonna win 16-0, bro. That sounds crazy. That sounds like a Cowboys fan.
I think we should win every freaking game. A Cowboys has a delusion they haven't won since I was 5 years old. I gotta go, man. She's calling me now.
All right,
all right, see you, man. But
bless you.
But as far as the top 5 running backs go, man, I mean, we could have a segment on that. So make sure y'all tune in for that. We're going to definitely have a segment on that probably one day this week about it, man. But yeah, so RIP to Jim Brown, man. It was an honor to actually see him. I think I'm gonna post it. I think I'm gonna post a video on one of my social medias of me actually having a video recording of it, because being at the Hall of Fame and seeing highlights of Jim Brown and knowing that we wasn't around at that time, but my father was and stuff like that. So, I always watch like NFL films to get the mystique and get the understanding of how his style of play was. But I agree, man. Barry Sanders is one of the greatest to ever do it. He's not my number 1, but he's definitely in my top 2. He's definitely in my top 2, my top 3.
So I will say this. I was fortunate enough to, when I lived with my grandmother, she had ESPN Classics. And I watched.
I remember that.
So I got to see a lot of the Browns, Jim Brown. You had Graham.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Jones, you had the Purple People Eaters. You had multiples Bears teams, like you know what I mean. And then even on the basketball side, you had your Boston Celtics, you had the Lakers, you had Philadelphia with Wilt Chamberlain, and
Mm-hmm.
to see all this and watch all this, and I mean, for years, from probably the time I was about 8 until I was probably about 15, 16 years old, like I watched this show, like ESPN Classics, 3 to 5, 6 hours, every
Yeah.
days. So it was like I would watch my ESPN in the morning, and then then turn it over there, and then
Diehard ESPN fans at that age. I know. I was there getting up, getting ready for school. First thing you do before you get in the shower, turn the TV on, play ESPN. That's what you do. That's exactly what you do.
Yeah, no, and then the whole thing was it was just like, dude, I was a junkie for it. The whole simple fact is, like, I was arguing with people at one time, and I remember it was like 2004, and I was arguing with a kid. Like, I watched Michael Jordan, I love Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan was the second greatest player ever, and everybody would be like, man, you're crazy. Who's number one? And I would be like, Bill motherfucking Russell. And I like, dude, I would fight and argue, and I'm like, the rings don't lie. You look at the rings, you look at the coaching, you look at his whole resume. He was better than Jordan. But I love Michael Jordan. Now, as the greatest, like, single hand player, I do. I'm a Jordan head. I will go for that. But I will say this: Bill Russell had me convinced until I was about 13, 14 years old. But it was some people schooled me a little bit, and they were just like, look, you're talking about a different game at a different time. Like, yes, he was absolute greatness, but do you think he would be able to hang on the court? And for his position, no. If you moved him around and put Bill Russell as a power forward, absolutely, I think he would still fucking dominate.
Right.
But in the end, you have to look at the guys he did dominate. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he got the better end of that on most occasions. Wilt Chamberlain, he got Jerry. I mean, even Lucas. He's a big white boy, but that boy could play.
Yeah.
And it was. And I mean, you go down there. I mean, yes, it was.
Bob Cousy's of the world and stuff of that nature. Like that Boston team with Bill Russell was just as great.
Yes,
They were just a great team and a great organization all the way around.
Yes, and that was the real advantage. They had a great team, and they played a great team ball. But for me, it was more than just that. It was the fact that even when the coach left, Bill Russell took over coaching while he was still
playing. Yup.
And it was like for me, it was to watch him make game adjustments, go into the huddle, lead the huddle, and then walk back on the court and continue to play. For me, like I said, I mean, I'm like an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid really starting to get into basketball, and I love watching Michael Jordan. But to watch this guy do almost like in a similar aspect, Bill Russell, he was almost a 20 and 20 guy. He gets you 20 points and 20 rebounds. Like it,
yeah, he was that dude. He was that dude. But I say this for the NBA, it's really hard to say who's the greatest player of all time in the game of NBA because you have a run of eras. So for me to say, like, yeah, Michael Jordan is going to be my favorite GOAT of all time. Absolutely. I grew up in the 90s watching him. And I was an 80s baby, so I was young. I really didn't watch the 80s Lakers like that. So for me, I grew up on Jordan. I grew up on Kobe Bryant. They was my 1 and 2 at the time. But for me to go back and look at each era, I'm like, okay, Bill Russell dominated this era. Wilt Chamberlain dominated this era. Jordan dominated this era. Magic had the 80s on lock. Like, like it's for me. I think Jordan's the greatest of all time because how he brought a different revolution to the game. Then the signature sneaker came out and wearing the ones and he coming out with all these different types of Jordans at that time, which back then Jordans was pretty cheap. I'm not gonna even lie. They were pretty cheap. They were cheaper than what they are now. But I just think his global impact makes him a bigger in life, makes people seem like he's number one. We know his style of play was totally different before he came into the league. And we knew this guy was going to be a star when he's making game-winning shots at North Carolina in the national championship game. Then went to the league right after he won the national championship. So it's like we already seen the star and the clutch factor in him before he even got to the league. But like I said, it's just so many areas to layer out for who's really the GOAT and when it comes to basketball.
You remember who passed him the ball in that first championship game?
Was it James Worthy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was James Worthy, absolutely.
And ain't that the crazy thing? Like, hold on, you're playing with James fucking Worthy, and Michael Jordan takes the winning shot.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And bro, see, and look, Nike knew what they were doing. Dude, I watched the Air movie the other day. Even if it's not 100% accurate of how the fuck it happened, the fact that Nike did and was able to gamble everything on Michael Jordan, and then for him to actually turn out exactly what everybody said, that's some cold shit, my man.
Sometimes when you want to be successful in life, you gotta take risk. And Nike took a risk because mind you, Nike wasn't even a basketball or sporting shoe. They was a track, track and running shoe type of company.
Michael Jordan took that risk.
Yeah, Michael Jordan took that risk, but Nike took a risk because if you look at before Nike had Jordan, they didn't really have a basketball shoe. They really didn't.
Absolutely not, but that's the whole thing. Like in the movie, and like I said, I mean, this is it's loosely based off of real life.
Yeah. Okay. And only reason I know because they had to teach me that when I worked at Nike for 5 years. So they had to teach you the beginning stages of Nike. So that's why I feel like Jordan is impactful because Jordan was one of the first, probably the first basketball sneaker that Nike ever had.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's Michael Jordan bet on Nike.
Right. He bet on Nike. Yep.
And that's why it was like the whole thing was about the percentage. He wanted percentages on his shoes. He wanted those options. He didn't just want the paycheck.
Right.
And that's what made it different. That's really what sent Nike over the edge is that Nike was able to do that because Adidas wasn't going to do that. But Adidas wasn't also going to make him his own shoe. Like it was multiple layers to it, but it was like Nike put it out there and they were like, look, you're going to be our one guy. You're going to push this thing. All of our money is going to be put on you. But the whole thing is Michael Jordan could have went to Adidas and sold just as many shoes. You know what I mean?
But Adidas was riding the coattails of Run DMC at that time.
Oh, no, absolutely.
It was riding the coattails of Run DMC with the shell top. So, I mean, if you look at the sneakers that were out there, Puma, Converse, Nike paved the way for all these other sneaker companies to have basketball sneakers. Now New Balance has a basketball sneaker where Jamal Murray wears New Balance and so does Kawhi Leonard, and they're sponsorships for New Balance. It's just crazy how Michael Jordan changed the aspect of the basketball sneaker game to now all these companies decide to get into. Everybody want to get a signature shoe,
and they're custom.
Yes,
and that's the biggest thing. They're custom, and it sucks, but like, dude, if you go get your foot sized and you get it correctly, they'll tell you exactly whose shoes that you need to get. And it's freaking amazing, all the technology we have now.
The technology, it goes. I don't want to get off subject, but the history of the Air Max, of the bubble of the Air Max, it goes that far back. Like it goes that far back. The history of the Air Max, me knowing the story of the bubble, and learning the technology of a shoe, because working at Nike, you learn the technology, how a shoe is made and what it's made for. And Air Max was not really made as a lifestyle shoe. It was made as a running shoe first. People don't know that though, because everybody know from Air Max 90, 96, 97, 98, they all thought that was a lifestyle shoe. And it never was. It was always a running shoe. And that bubble is still there to this day. And now you see all these different type of Air Maxes now with the bubble. And people think that, oh, if I step on something, it's going to get flat. That bubble is so clear in so many ways. It takes even a little thumbtack won't even bust the bubble because how they made the bubble. So it's so many ways to do it. But yeah, Nike taught me a lot. I wish they could have paid me more. I would have stayed there, you know. They would have paid me more to stay to be the store manager. I would have stayed there, but they wasn't paying me enough. I couldn't get by like that. So Nike, pay your employees, man. Pay your employees, so you have to have that turnover rate that you have. And speaking of, I'm gonna get straight into football real quick. The 9 quarterbacks that make or break this year, that have to actually make things work this year. So I read this article on NFL.com. So it's a confidence ranking on 9 quarterbacks in a make or break year. And they have 9 quarterbacks that have that. So the 9 quarterbacks that they have, Sam Howell, I don't think there's a make or break year for Sam Howell. I just don't understand that. This is his first year being a full-time quarterback. I don't think it's a make or break year for him. Desmond Ridder, I don't think it's a make or break year for him either. Just by reading the article, I think he's finally getting his first year under being a starter. So at number 8, Desmond Ridder. Number 7,
started most of last year, didn't
he started majority of the year, but he didn't start the whole year because they had Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
Number 7 is Baker Mayfield. Let's stop there.
Yeah.
This is a make or break year for Baker Mayfield. He has to make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers work.
Yeah, absolutely. He has no choice.
Yeah, you got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. You got the receivers. You might not have the running back of Leonard Fournette no more, but you had the defense. You got to make this work because I think this is Baker Mayfield's last straw. I think it's his last straw. I think after this, if you don't make this work in Tampa Bay, I think he's out the league.
Absolutely.
I definitely think that he's out the league. And then number 6, Ryan Tannehill. It ain't no make or break year for you, bro. You're done. I don't know why they have him at number 6. I don't understand this at all. You drafted Will Levis. You got Malik Willis. Put those young guys in. You're 34 years old. Your career was not great in Miami. I mean, you had a good run in Tennessee, but come on. Do you really think it's a make or break year for Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah, I mean, because if he doesn't have a good year this year, he's out or backup. Same thing. I think it's the same thing with Mayfield. Mayfield is if he doesn't win this starting job and he doesn't win, then he's gone. Like he'll be a backup. Like he's not going to get another starting spot unless he gets lucky, like a Geno Smith, where he falls into something and maybe he starts playing better in somebody's system. But the whole point is, it's just like these guys have to step up. They have to. Sam Howell, maybe not so much, but again, if he doesn't have a good year, he's not going to start again, or at least not for the Commanders.
You want to say the Redskins?
I keep wanting to say Redskins. Like, I mean, dude, I've lived in Maryland most of my life, in Baltimore, so it's like DC is right there. They actually play in Maryland, not DC.
Right.
So it's like, to me, they'll always be the Redskins because that's what I know them as. But
yeah,
I mean, they're the Commanders. They're the Commanders, whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, if he doesn't play well this year, he's done.
Maybe for number 5 right here is Jordan Love. Is it a make or break year for him? Even though that he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for so many years.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, absolutely. Same thing. It's the same thing with Hal. Like, you got a guy who you're going to play, and this is going to be the future of Green Bay. What do you think happens if this guy only wins 5 games?
After being under Aaron Rodgers for 3 years.
You think exactly after being under Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years, him coming in and starting a full season, if he doesn't win 8, 9, 10 games and him win a couple of those games and really try to push the team forward, like they're going to be like, okay, let's end this and keep it moving.
This is a make or break year for this next guy that I completely agree with. That's Mac Jones. It's a make or break year for him. It has to be.
Bro, I'm going to tell you this. If he doesn't play well this year, he will never be more than a backup.
Exactly. I completely agree. But at the same time, you have to put weapons around this guy too. If you notice the years that he was in Alabama, he had mad weapons to throw to.
Yeah, I mean,
the Patriots go out and sign Juju Smith-Schuster, but who else? What else is on their offense?
look again. I mean, I don't have the answers to everybody's problems, but
Right.
the whole thing is okay, making good decisions with the football. If you see that the secondary is stacked against you, then what do? You call an audible and you run the fucking ball. Let's just be smart about this. If you're in your third step,
semantics of football.
if you step back and you're in your third step and you see a guy blitzing you, and you know if you don't throw the ball right now, it's going to be a sack. Throw the ball out of bounds.
Absolutely.
Make good decisions. Like that's what it is. Don't throw double-digit interceptions. You know what I mean? Have more than 15 touchdowns.
Right.
20 touchdowns is really what he needs to be shooting for, and 5 or 6, interceptions at the most. So let's play smart football.
Right.
That's
right.
I mean, literally, that's the only thing that really counters what him not having lots of weapons. Being smart with the football.
This next guy is a make or break for me as well. I like it, but I'm like, okay, what else can he really do? And it's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is at number 3 is a make or break year for him. Even though you got Justin Jefferson, you got T.J. Hawkinson, you got Jordan Addison. We all know that your primetime failures, being with the Minnesota Vikings, and even with the Redskins / Commanders at the time. But I think he has to get past. He has to win. He has to win at least a playoff game. He has to win a playoff game. He has to at least get to the NFC Championship, especially with this team that he got. It's clearly for Minnesota to win the division, which I don't think they is. I still think Detroit will win this division, in my opinion. I think they're going to shock the world. That's just my underdogs for this division. But this should be a clear division for the Minnesota Vikings. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, me personally, I think it's their division to lose 100%. But I don't know. It is definitely a make or break year for Kirk Cousins, because the whole thing is there's plenty of young quarterbacks that you can plug and play with this type of talent, and they're going to excel. So
number 2,
why am I going to pay you when I can pay somebody less to do more?
Right, facts. And number 2, this is the obvious. Of course, this is a make or break year for him, and that's Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm saying it. Yes, it's a make or break year for you, bruh. It is.
Absolutely. If
you better get the double-digit wins.
Yeah, if he comes into McDaniel's offense and doesn't do well, it's time. It's time to let it go.
Yes, it is, because I'm telling you now, if Jimmy Garoppolo does not succeed in the Las Vegas Raiders uniform, Raider fans, I'm calling you out right now. Who are you to blame now? Derek Carr ain't here no more. Who's to blame? Yeah, because y'all know y'all gonna blame Jimmy Garoppolo. We already know this, but outside of him, who's to blame? Who's to blame? But hey, I'm just gonna say no more Derek Carr talk. But I mean, he did Garoppolo 3-year deal.
Who's number one?
Oh, you want to know who number 1 is?
Yeah,
Jared Goff.
Okay. No, I mean, absolutely. Again, a guy who's sitting on the back porch getting ready to go into backup quarterback lane. Like, dude, it's now or never.
It's now or never for Jared Goff. It's definitely a make or break year for him, knowing that they drafted Hendon Hooker in the second round. And even though Hendon Hooker might not be available this year due to the torn ACL that he had in Tennessee, against South Carolina, but I mean, Jared Goff is definitely a make or break year for him. You got to lead this team to the playoffs. You're going to have to. Because you have to win the division for me.
He's not just playing for a job this year. He's playing for a job next year. Because even if his job isn't with the Detroit Lions, he's got to ball out somehow, because he's going to have somebody call him. And I'm just saying this, and I know it's real early, but Jared Goff to the Tampa Bay, if he can play well in that dink and dunk system, I think he does very well.
And just to let you know that he will, since he's owed no more guaranteed money after this season, according to Over the Cap. So after this season, he doesn't have any guaranteed money for Jared Goff. There's no guaranteed money for him. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not just playing for this year; he's playing for next year. And if you want to start again in the NFL, you're gonna have to ball out this year to an extent. And he's got weapons. He's got weapons in Detroit. They're not. You know what I mean? Their cupboard is not bare. They have a good coach. So I mean, and then the defensive side of the ball, they did a. I mean, me personally, I think they hit on defense in the draft. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what Detroit is this year. It's a very exciting team. But again, with Minnesota, they got even better. So that's why I think that division is tough. But me personally, I would put Kirk Cousins on the hot seat more than I would put Jared Goff.
Yeah, because Kirk Cousins he's been successful, but not that successful.
If they do not win, if he does not win his division, go to the playoffs and win, Kirk Cousins is not starting in the NFL again, barring an injury to somebody.
Yeah, I 100% agree there. I think Kirk Cousins is on his last leg. He's been in Minnesota ever since he became a free agent and leaving the Commanders. And Kirk Cousins, don't get me wrong, the numbers don't lie for Kirk. He puts up the numbers. He does. But when it comes to winning, when winning matters, that's the issue right now for Kirk Cousins. He just doesn't win enough. And right now, Minnesota needs that quarterback that's going to win.
Is that the last topic for today?
That is the last topic for the day.
Right.
Today, actually.
Well,
so
I got to get going. I got to go get the kids together.
Oh, go ahead. Do get your daddy. Right, do your daddy duties, man. We'll be in the chat talking tonight.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Absolutely.
If the win. Oh shit, man.
Oh, you gonna come over here talking shit? I see you.
But all right, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace, everybody.
All right, man. Peace out. So that is the end of the episodes of 26 of the Darion Hopkins Show, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end. I didn't get through the last topic, but I definitely want to say this. Congratulations to Brittany Griner coming back into the WNBA this past weekend after being wrongly detained in Russia for almost 2 years. Brittany Griner, I know you're still trying to get in shape and trying to get everything back to normal, being back in the U.S. and being back on a WNBA basketball court. But it was good to see you back on the court. It's good to see you playing basketball and you're in good spirits, man. So congratulations to you as well. But there you have it, guys. There you have it. Episode 26 is definitely in the books, man. It's your boy Darion of the Darion Hopkins Show. Don't forget to make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and check out the promotion that we have there. So use that promo code DHopkins if you want to go to any live sporting event, if you want to go to any live concerts, comedy shows, anything of that nature. Make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and use that promo code DHopkins. And if you want to bet on the sports book tonight for tonight's game, which is the Lakers and Nuggets game 4, make sure you go to Bet Us. You get 125% sportsbook upon your initial deposit using the link that's in the description for Bet Us. So make sure you sign up, make an initial deposit, and start betting and win some money over there with Bet Us. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this live stream and everybody tuned in from other platforms. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. All the links are in the description at the Darion Hopkins Show. Follow me on Twitter at DHopkinsShow and follow me on Instagram at DHopkinsShow. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Darion Hopkins Show. And we'll see y'all same time, same place tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see y'all tonight at 8:30 for Game 4. Peace out.